So, Happy New Year. It's a new year and a lot of new things. And one of the things that you guys are going to be hearing a whole lot more about, especially when you see headlines kind of like this, where brand new cases of Omicron discovered in Grenada. Omicron was also discovered in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, and I believe in Jamaica. So, with New Year comes with a lot of blessings. And one of the blessings that I think would come with this year, New Year 2022, I believe, after looking at all the studies, let me tell you, I've been looking at this thing, especially the Delta, the Alpha, the Delta, and now the Omicron, looking at professionals speaking on it and talking about the variants. And I mean, I was obsessed. I am obsessed with trying to understand this variant and this virus. Of course, this is coming from someone who had COVID twice. Yeah. So you would understand my obsession. I always wanted to understand what is actually happening in my body at this time. So first, I am going to explain to you and tell you guys why I think that the Omicron variant in 2022 could be a blessing in disguise. Yeah, why I think 2022 may be the end to COVID-19 as we know it. Now, I know we heard a lot of people said this. Very controversial people say the same thing. But after looking at and paying attention to a lot of independent thinkers, people who are just concerned about getting good information to the public, when I listen to them and people that I trust in the field speak about this thing, here is their analogy why they said and why they think that 2022, this year, this new year, may be the end of COVID-19 as we know it. Now, let me go back a little bit. Remember, I told you, this is coming from someone, myself. I was infected with COVID-19 twice, right? My first instant of contracting COVID-19 happened, I was unvaccinated at that point in time. And I remember it being, I didn't have the worst symptoms. I didn't have the shortness of breath. I didn't have to be admitted to the hospital. Nevertheless, it was not a good experience. It was a terrible experience. I had fever and I had hallucination. All right, that I don't wish that on anybody. The second time around, it was in the Omicron era. Now, when you get COVID-19, they don't tell you that you have Omicron or you have Delta or Beta. They don't tell you which variant you have. But I'm just going to say in the era, because oftentimes when a new variant comes in, it becomes the dominant strain. So at the time, I got like the Beta strain or something like that. I didn't catch the Delta. I catch it a little bit before the Delta. And the second time around, I catch it during the era of Omicron. In comparison, the Omicron phase or time frame when I caught it was much milder. Now, there might be some reasons why people might say it was milder. For one, at that time, I was vaccinated, and at the first instant, I was not vaccinated. But I looked at other people and listened to other people who contracted during the Omicron era, and their symptoms was very mild compared to what I know of other people in a different era or time frame of COVID-19. So I started to follow this doctor. His name is John Campbell. Now, John Campbell, what I like about John Campbell, when he speaks, you could tell that this man is not speaking from big pharma perspective, right? He's a doctor and he's just very interested in getting information out to the people. And John said something since the beginning of the Omicron that gravitated me to listen to him even more. Now, when when Omicron was first discovered in South Africa, I ain't saying that it was created in South Africa. That's how media want you to believe that. But when Omicron was first discovered in South Africa, because of the advanced technology that South Africa have, they don't tell you about that. Because of the advanced technology that South Africa have, it was discovered in South Africa. Before it was discovered, it already existed in South Africa, right? People had it in South Africa. But what happened was they did not see an increased amount of hospitalization. So with the analysis, the preliminary analysis was, but if this was here a whole week or two before we discovered it, how come the hospitalization didn't increase? They knew that a lot of people had it, but the hospitalization, people that had to be on ventilators, that numbers did not increase. So it begged the question, why? So before there was any analysis as to what's really happening, what happened here, John and other doctors came up with the assessment and the assertion that it's very probable that this strand could be milder than the Delta and the other strands prior to it. So I want to play back this clip, right? Because in this clip, I want you guys to listen to it. John is doing an interview with another doctor who is specialized in the field. This man is from Iran. And he's speaking, and John asked a very important question. Again, what he said is something that was just mentioned by the head of the WHO when he said that the COVID-19 would end or may end in 2022, sorry. Something that Bill Gates said, what people say is very controversial whenever Bill Gates say anything about pandemic. But this is why they are coming to this conclusion. And I want you guys to pay particular attention, because especially the people in the Caribbean right now who will be seeing an upsurge in cases, who will be seeing an increase in numbers, right? Why that they are saying that this could be a blessing in disguise. Yeah. Why this upsurge? Why these great numbers that you'll see is actually a blessing in disguise. Take a look at this clip right here. Let me pull it up here. This is John Campbell doing an interview. And I want you guys to listen very carefully to what he says and the response. All right? Listen to this. Let me pull it up and play it back right here. Take a listen.
That's a remarkably good question, and I don't think I have a scientific answer to that at the moment. So I'm optimistic that Omicron is basically going to be the end of this pandemic as it displaces Delta and it becomes an endemic common cold virus. Is this just wishful thinking on my part?
Yes, I think so. I have this belief, and I think after this huge wave in many countries, Western countries, in UK, in US, Canada, most of the population obtained this permissive herd immunity with combination of vaccine and Omicron variant, and the pandemic will come to its end, and the sporadic form of the disease or endemic form of the disease is going to be continued in next years,
Yeah, for the next 5-10 years or whatever. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so basically Omicron is the best thing we could have hoped for. It's going to introduce massive herd immunity.
Yeah, because its pathogenicity is lower.
Yeah.
Its infectivity is higher, and most of the countries are vaccinated. Most of the involved countries are vaccinated, and it could be a very good news to finally reach to the end of this pandemic,
So this pandemic's going to end because nature has just evolved this new type. It's not human beings being clever. It's just the natural evolution that's built into the ecosystem of the planet. Almost, it's
That's really the case. That was a very good sentence, because we saw that still the natural immunity and natural event that has obtained us from getting ill and from getting extinct is working again.
Yeah,
it's hopeful.
Right.
So given that the Omicron is so infectious from all the data that we have, and given that it's causing mild disease, if another variant was to evolve, that would only become the most prevalent variant if it was more transmissible than Omicron.
I still think it depends to the immunity. I believe that natural immunity in most people resulted in immunity for about 2 to 3 years. So I'm quite sure that if another infectious variant evolve, it can easily be spread in human population as others. For example, when Alpha was first recognized in Iran, in only 4 weeks, it completely displaced the classical variant. After that, Delta, in only 3 weeks, displaced the Alpha. But Omicron couldn't do this to Delta yet, It is propagate with a lower speed than Delta. That's not because the Omicron is not more infectious. That's because the human bodies resist to get Omicron, And
Right. So I hope you guys paid attention a bit to what they're saying, right? Remember I told you guys that Omicron is a much milder infection or carries much milder disease in the human body. I had it. I have many friends that have it and had it, and they ultimately said the same thing. Some that are vaccinated, some that are unvaccinated. For some that are vaccinated, it's kind of like the common cold. Yeah, for those that are vaccinated, it's kind of like they have a common cold, to tell you the truth. So because it's so infectious, meaning like this, I firmly believe that Omicron is so infectious that if you are walking down the street, and that's not scientific, I'm just saying that's my analogy of it. If you're walking down the street and you brush past someone that have Omicron, it seems, I'm not making a scientific fact here, it seems like you could catch it that easy. It is so infectious, but yet in many cases it is still so mild. What's going to happen is that so many people will develop some kind of natural immunity, and in that way, any other variant that would come after that, the body will have this natural resistance, this natural immunity for this disease. Now listen, I think that a couple things that people need to do right now. For those of you who are considering getting vaccinated, I firmly believe that you should get vaccinated. Boost your immune system in whatever way. So we need that vitamin D. We need vitamin D. We need that zinc. We need that vitamin C. Again, listen, I am not a doctor. I'm just telling you, I contracted this thing, and I am obsessed with trying to understand what we could do to build our body stronger to resist this type of diseases. And I've been giving a lot of people advice that I took basically based on what doctors and friends and nurse practitioners told me, right? So we need to boost our immune system. You need to start right now, start taking some zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D. Start consuming that stuff, right? Because we still don't know for a fact how your body is going to react to any virus coming into it. So I'm not saying that everybody will be fine and everybody is going to be just with a runny nose or a little sore throat. But based on statistics, not only in South Africa, not only in Iran, not only here in the United States, in England, huge upsurge of cases, very low hospitalization and very low deaths as it relates to Omicron. So this is why I said, and I will say, that 2022 might be and might see the end of this COVID-19 as we know it. A lot said here. Again, I'm going to put the link over to John Campbell's page so you guys could check it out, because John Campbell, as I said, this guy, I love his videos. He's real. He's for real. I've been watching him for over 8 months. A lot of people follow him. If you guys don't follow him yet, go ahead and follow him. He has great information. In fact, I'm going to try to get him on one of our live shows so you guys could ask your questions. But this is what I think, guys. 2022 will be, or maybe, the year that we say goodbye to COVID as we know it. In the meantime, guys, follow this page, follow our YouTube page, because we're going to continue to give you information and advice on how you could better your health. 2022 is all about paying attention to your health and paying back your immune system for all the hard work it did over the years by fighting all kind of infectious disease, millions and millions and millions of infectious disease that trying to get into your body, not just COVID-19. Paying back your immune system, taking care of your health, and fixing broken healthcare systems in the Caribbean. This is what 2022 is going to be all about. Follow this page, guys, and comment. Let me know what you guys think about all that was said here today. Hey, thanks for watching. Please support this channel by clicking the like and share button, and don't forget to follow. One more, you can even become a supporter. It will help our channel grow. Thanks again.